Welcome back guys, you're here with Harry. Today we're going to be looking at Vechain and VET, and I'm going to be sharing my analysis as to why VET could well increase 100 times over, potentially more in market value over the coming few years. Before we begin, I just want to say that I'm not saying that this will definitely occur within the next few weeks, or even few months. I'm a huge crypto fan, but unlike a lot of the content online regarding cryptocurrency, I'm also a realist, and in addition to sharing my opinion on a price prediction, I'm also going to back it with what I consider to be realistic and useful data and analysis, and if that's a kind of realistic approach which you enjoy, then be sure to subscribe for more. Anyway, the reason as to why I hold Vechain and VET in such high regard, and the reason as to why Vechain is a fundamental part of my crypto portfolio, is because of the relatively low market valuation in comparison to the extent of the market which Vechain are disrupting, and the huge potential for adoption. So the market capitalization of Vechain right now is around $3.5 billion, and the unit price of each VET around 5 cents each. Now the cumulative value of all of the VET in circulation is of course equivalent to the market capitalization, and that means that the market consensus values the earning power of VET in the form of ETH or dividends at around $3.5 billion, and my point is that I believe that the market consensus is wrong, and I believe that the current price of VET is not properly factoring in the sheer potential for growth, and I think that the market is also overlooking just how valuable Vechain actually can be. And there are a few reasons which I believe to be responsible for the market's incorrect valuation of VET. The first, I think, is a simple discovery problem. Almost everybody in terms of average people all around the world know about the stock market, and so there is a lot of competition relative to the crypto market, which only a much smaller percentage of the global population even know about. And of course, as a huge percentage of the general public don't even know about or understand cryptocurrency or the crypto market, there are a massive number of people who are potential investors who are completely unaware of crypto right now. And then if we dig a little further, of those who do know about crypto and do understand crypto, most are just interested in Bitcoin, and a smaller number go on to discover Ethereum and Ripple and so on. But only a fraction of the small percentage of people who even know about crypto ever hear about Vechain. And although discovery problem is a very simple and straightforward issue, it's also a huge barrier which prevents assets like Vechain and VET from, in my view, being properly valued. You know, while we're on the topic of a discovery bias, there's another problem which I believe is contributing to the lower than reasonable price of Vechain. I think that in addition to a discovery bias, there is also a tendency to favor volatile cryptocurrencies in the market, which creates an attention deficiency in the more relatively stable cryptos like VET. You see, if there is one structural fault that I would call out on the crypto market, it's that there is way too much speculation and not enough rational investing. Too many people think that cryptocurrency is some sort of wonderland where you can come in and make a bunch of easy money without putting in any effort or doing the research, and that's probably also why so many investors lose money in this space. But another symptom of the large number of speculators in crypto is that many of them aren't interested in finding valuable projects who have real use cases and provide a useful service and have good business models. They are interested in which crypto is booming the most this week, and so this portion of the market are what I like to call sheep-like investors. Investors whose attention follows every move of the consensus. And this kind of behavior means that there are two types of crypto projects. Number one are the projects which are propped up by speculative demand. The type of projects where most of the investors don't even know what the project do. They're just there for what they perceive is going to be easy money. And because these projects are dominated by speculators, they tend to be more volatile than other crypto projects, which acts as a kind of reinforcing cycle. Because the more volatile the price is, the more speculators are attracted, and this goes on until the boom ends and the price crashes. On the other hand, we have projects like Vechain, which I classify as being investor-based cryptocurrencies. I mean, most people who own VET, including myself, are investors because of the merits of the project, and the real underlying value in the form of the services which Vechain offer. I mean, we're all still here to make money, but the difference is, one group thinks in terms of days and what's going to happen tomorrow, and the other group thinks in terms of years and is concerned with the bigger picture. Now it's actually really simple. There are so many speculators in the crypto market, and they aren't really interested in projects like Vechain, which aren't so volatile, but do have a real value proposition, and so the market places a premium on the value of volatile cryptocurrencies, and kind of ignores to a degree the more stable and less hyped cryptos. And by the way, I think that this is actually a really good thing, because I'm not in Vechain for the short term, and so I want Vechain and VET to be overlooked by the consensus and the majority, so that I have as long as possible to accumulate. Now I think that as discovery gets better and as more people find out about crypto and as the hype dies down, and instead of speculators more investors are taking a calm and rational approach, the silent and hidden gems like Vechain will in my opinion be lifted up, and the diminishing of the discovery bias is in my view enough to cause a substantial gain in the market value of VET. But other than the viewpoint that VET is fairly undiscovered and undervalued, I think that the real source of potential growth in Vechain, the real driver of growth, and the reason that I think growth of 100 to 1 in the value of VET isn't at all unreasonable, is the extent of the market which Vechain operate in and how useful Vechain are. There's one thing that I can safely say that I for one do not doubt about Vechain, and that is the fact that the services which Vechain provide work. And what I mean is that because Vechain work in supply chain and logistics management, they provide data which is useful to their partners, and the reason I know this is because Vechain have landed and maintained partnerships with well over $15 billion revenue companies. And if Vechain didn't work and their value proposition only worked on paper and not in real life business, Vechain would have been dropped by their partners long ago, and so I don't doubt that Vechain do actually work. And the second point to consider is that the logistics industry is worth $6 trillion annually. And by the way, this figure isn't going to be entirely accurate because of course it's near impossible to accurately value all of the logistics-based trade in every part of every country in the world. And I suspect that a lot of the trade goes on behind closed doors and isn't recorded, and so the actual global logistics spend is probably even greater than $6 trillion. Now you imagine a $6 trillion industry and then imagine that there is a new player in the market, in this case Vechain, who are using a technology which is revolutionary and very new, in a way which hasn't really been done before, namely the use of blockchain technology. Now what we know is that Vechain work, or at least they work for their existing partners, who come from a variety of different countries and operate in different areas of business selling different products. Vechain are saving those partners enough money or giving them enough benefit in some other way for those businesses to want to keep using Vechain, and so I see no reason that Vechain couldn't do the same thing for a large part or all of the other businesses around the world engaged in logistics. And considering that this market is worth $6 trillion annually, even generating a saving equivalent to 0.5%, we're talking an annual saving in excess of $300 billion, and assuming that VET is valued by the market at just 1 times this saving, which is in my view very conservative, we're talking about gains in the value of VET to the tune of 100 to 1, and so even though a price of $3.50 per VET may seem remote and unrealistic, I for one think that when we look at the data and the fact that Vechain have credible partners and consider the size of the logistics market, then even if Vechain can capture a minute 0.5% market share, we're talking gains of potentially in excess of 100 to 1 in the value of VET. Now this is just my opinion and my analysis as a long-time crypto investor and market observer, and so this video is not financial advice. If you enjoyed the video, I'm going to ask you all for a favor, and that is to subscribe to our channel and help us to grow and reach more people. Thanks for watching.